Okay, here's an EKG 12-pack for session 5 of the paramedic course. This is a cardiology lab session. We're going to work independently to start with, and then review your answer with this video screencast. Then collaborate with team members as needed to check your work and get any feedback from them, and then if you're totally stumped, then you get a coach involved. The standard we're looking for is about 60 seconds per EKG. You may want to work up to that, but really for this one we're only doing RPM and a little bit of AB. So the 60-second mark should really not be a big deal. Speaking of RPM APC, we're doing R for rate and regularity, then P. Is there a P wave for every QRS, QRS for every P? That's where you're looking to see if there are any extra beats or dropped beats. And then your measurement check is real quick and easy. Is the PRI between 120 and 200? Is the QRS less than 120? And is the QTC less than 450? That's just quickly looking at that measurement block on the 12 lead. Just takes a couple of seconds. As far as A and B goes for axis, we're really just looking for that situation where we have a right bundle branch block and a left anterior fascicular block, which would mean that we would have pathological left axis deviation. Pathological left axis deviation. You have pathological left axis deviation when your QRS is upright in 1, it is negative in 2 and 3, and it is down in AVF. So predominantly positive in 1, predominantly negative in 2, predominantly down in AVF. When you couple that with a right bundle branch block, which is only going to be present when the QRS is more than 120, and then you use your turn signal method if you need to prompt yourself to remember what a right bundle is. Only time we're really worried about all this stuff is when we have a bifascicular block, meaning that there's only one conduction wire remaining to provide the impulse to the ventricles, and that would be with a right bundle and a left anterior fascicle, and so that's what we're looking for with A and B. And we don't even know anything about changes right now, so really this exercise is pretty quick in terms of RPM ABC. Here's our first EKG. I want to flip over here and start the stopwatch. And so I'm looking for rate, and the rate right off the bat is 66. Then I'm looking for, is there a P wave for every QRS and a QRS for every P, and we have a nice rhythm strip down here at the bottom that gives you lead 2 all the way across, and I see a P for every QRS and a QRS for every P. Then I go to measurements. I need the PRI to be between 120 and 200. I need the QRS to be less than 120 and the QTC to be less than 450. All of those are the case. I need to have a right bundle branch to even worry about A and B with a QRS of less than 120. I don't have a right bundle. If it was more than 120, I'd be looking up in V1. If that looked like a right bundle, then I'd check 1, 2, and AVF real quick. And as long as I'm positive in lead 2, then I can't have the left anterior fascicular block that I'm looking at. So that was me talking a lot on this one. This one took more than a minute. And so now we're going to move on to the second one. We look rate 60. P. Is there a P for every QRS and a QRS for every P? It marches out nice and regular down there at the bottom. Now move on to M. Is our PRI between 120 and 200? So it is slightly longer than 200, which to me would mean a first degree AV block. My QRS is less than 120. My QTC is fine. So we have a QRS that is less than 120, so I don't have a bundle branch to worry about, and there's no reason to worry about axis. On number 3. Number 3. Rate is okay. My P for every QRS, QRS for every P. I don't see any dropped beats. I don't see any extra beats. There may be a little bit of irregularity through here, but there's no drop beat associated with it. The PRI is within the range. The QRS is less than 120. The QTC is okay. Again, we'd be looking up here if there was a problem with a prolonged QRS, but there is not. Number 4, ventricular rate is 70. P for every QRS, QRS for every P. The rhythm is nice and regular. I don't see any drop beats. I don't see any extra beats. My PRI is between 120 and 200. The QRS is well less than 120. QTC is okay. Again, no bundle branch block to worry about. If this were a bundle branch, it would be a left, and so that's not even what I'm worried about. So nothing more to say about this one at this point. Number 5, rate is 72. Very regular, nice and regular. No drop beats, all the P waves conduct. Nothing to worry about there. The PRI is within the range. The QRS is less than 120. QTC is less than 450. Again, there is no bundle branch block in V1, so nothing to worry about there. And that's it. Number 6, the rate is boring at 75. The PRI is right in the middle of the range. The QRS is less than 120. The QTC is just a hair long. Is there a P for every QRS, QRS for every P? Yes, there are. It looks like maybe we have some irregularity down here. And the interpretation's calling it sinus arrhythmia. We won't be able to tell that unless we can watch the patient breathe. But it looks like those P waves are all the same. And so it's really a kind of an unremarkable EKG. Again, the QRS is less than 120, so there's no reason to even worry with V1. Nothing happening there. All right, number 7, rate 82. P for every QRS, QRS for every P. Yet another nice regular rhythm with no dropped beats, no extra beats. The PRI is between 120 and 200. The QRS is less than 120. The QTC is less than 450. There's no bundle branchy or axis things to worry about. Very easy. Number 7, very easy. Number 8, the ventricular rate, very nice. P for every QRS, QRS for every P, nothing dropped, nothing weird looking at all. The PRI is good, the QRS is good, the QTC is good. There's no bundle branch stuff to worry with. This one's really easy. Looks about as easy as that one. Almost makes me wonder that it's the same one, but no, it's not. It's that simple. Let's go on to number 9. Let me reset the timer here. Our ventricular rate is 81 in this case. A P for every QRS, QRS for every P. I'm looking all down through here at the bottom like I have on the others. I don't see anything. PRI is right in the range. QRS less than 120. QTC less than 450. There's no bundle branch to worry about. Therefore, we don't need to do any axis stuff. Okay? You reset us and we'll go to number 10 here. Number 10, the rate's 56, slightly less than 60, so a slight sinus bradycardia. PRI is within the range, QRS is less than 120, and the QTC is just a hair more than 450. Are there any dropped beats? No, no drop beats, no extra beats. Nothing to worry about in the axis and bundle branch world. Easy EKG. So by this point you ought to be flying through these because really this is several reps on very normal, no problem EKGs. The rate's 70. No dropped beats, no extra beats. It's quite regular. PRI is in the range. QRS is less than 120, and 450 would be the high end of QTC. This one's fine. No bundle branch, no axis things to worry about. Last one in this set. Promise we'll have a little more challenging ones for our next session. Ventricular rate is 77. Is there a P for every QRS and a QRS for every P? There is clearly an extra beat. In this rhythm strip you can see very definitely There's that PVC. I'm going to call it a PVC because there's no P wave. And then as you look across here, you can almost make a case for another one here, but that's really not. That is the changeover between leads. And so that's not a problem, because as you look down here, that complex looks normal just like all the others. So anyway, P for every QRS, QRS for every P. Well, not quite. There's an extra beat. What about the PRI? It's within the range. QRS is just a hair over. And so we do have some bundle branchy stuff to look at here. Is the QTC is not an issue. So what we've got is a left bundle branch pattern. If you've done the turn signal thing, you color in the last part, see which way it's pointing. It's pointing down. If I were going to be making a left turn with my car, I would be pushing the turn signal down. So I have a left bundle branch block. And so what we're looking for is a right bundle with a left anterior fascicular block, or a left axis deviation, which we don't have here. And so that's that. I'm a little concerned about that left bundle branch block, but at this point, that's all we're going to say about this EKG. So that has been pretty much our first 12 pack for session 5, and we'll do some of these for each session as we go along, probably for the rest of the course. And that's it. Thanks for listening.